Hello, everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I am going to be your host for this afternoon, where we are going to talk about grants. Yes, grants for your Black-owned business or your Black-led nonprofit. Now, I'm in a little different space today because my office is being renovated, so I hope everybody can see me and hear me okay while I am adjusting things. So, as you come in, say hello to me. Say hello to me. I am in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. So give your city and your state a shout out as you come in and let me know where you are coming in from. All right, give that city and that state a shout out. Let me know where you are coming in from. So you have to excuse the background a little bit because this is not like my normal space because my office is being renovated. So let me know where you are coming in from. Hello, Carlita from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yes, we are going to talk about grants. You are going to be so glad that you showed up because I'm going to give you information that probably nobody else has told you and no one else is sharing with you. But you've got to promise me one thing. You're going to share this information with other Black organizations, with other Black-led nonprofits and small businesses, because we need to be a community and we need to be in this grant thing together. All right. Who else is here? Oh, I'm getting ready to butcher her name. Nakitris. Nakitris from the ATL has shown up. And Christo from Lake Worth Beach, Florida. And Arlene from, is that North Carolina? North Carolina? Yes, yes, yes. Come on in. We're getting ready to get started in just a moment because I have a lot of information to share with you. And I know some of you are on a bit of a timeline. So we are going to get started in just about a minute. Let everyone else come in. Hello, Keith from historical Selma. The Bama is in the house. Hey, my parents are from Alabama, but from like the deep South where the red clay, the red mud, the red clay is in Alabama. That's where they came from, like Wetumpka and Ellis City. But welcome, Keith. All right. We're going to get started because again, I have a lot of information to share with you, but it's so important that what I share with you, you share with others because this is not what you're going to hear on TV. This is not what you're going to hear in any other forms of media. So let's get started. Let's get started. All right. First thing I'm going to do is share my screen. So let me get ready to share my screen. It is looking good. It is looking good. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen. All right, all right, all right. We are good to go. Yes, this is grant writing for Black-owned businesses and Black-led nonprofits, and this is my noon masterclass. And yes, I'm also going to be live at 7 o'clock p.m. So a little bit later, I'm going to drop that link into the chat. And make sure you're paying close attention to the chat and as we move forward, because I'm going to be at the end giving you some really important information. All right, so let's move forward. Yes, my background, a little bit about me. Yes, they call me the Grants Queen because I have secured it's almost $18 million now that I've won in grant funding. And this is year 17 of me owning my company, LaPov Consulting. My undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron, Go Zips. And I provide grant writing workshops. I teach grant writing all over the country, from your small organizations, your small nonprofits, your oftentimes foundations, but also some of your major corporations too, like the Goldman Sachs, for example. I teach grant writing for them and the Urban League, which I'm sure you've heard of. And it has been truly my great pleasure to be able to share this information with so many organizations across the country. I've trained like it's over 20,000 organizations at this point. You know, nowadays you have to drop your receipts because there are some craziness on the internet. I literally see people trying to use what I teach to scam people. There are scammers out here, people, so you have to be careful. We're going to talk about the scammers and how you can avoid running into them. And look, anytime you are talking about free money, because grant money is free money, you're going to run into scammers. And by the way, you'll find out I keep it real. All right. I keep it real. Now, I own a business, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I want to know who is here with me. Let me know in the chat. Are you a nonprofit or are you a small business? Or maybe you're both, because I'm finding that a lot of small businesses, especially, are starting nonprofits. So let me know in the chat. Are you a nonprofit or a small business? Let's see, let's see, let's see. Lots of nonprofits. Small business real estate broker, excellent. Who else? Who else? Who else? All right, so we have a mix of nonprofits and small businesses. Excellent. You're in the right place because what you need to know is that there are grants for both entities. There are grants for nonprofits and there are grants for small businesses. So you are in the right place. We'll talk about grants for both as we move forward. Now, a little bit about how I got here because I used to be a publishing executive, lived in Pennsylvania, and after 10 years, I got hurt. When I got hurt, literally, I went from flying all over the country with my job to putting everything I own in a storage unit and moving in with my sister back to Cleveland, Ohio, where I could see like the best doctors at that time. And it took me 2 years, 2 years to recuperate. But at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job because my experience was in professional publishing in Pennsylvania. And if you know anything about Cleveland, you know it's like not some publishing mecca of the United States. So that's when I started my own company. It wasn't because I had some dream of being an entrepreneur like some of you. I like to eat and I needed a roof over my head. So I started LaPav Consulting and haven't looked back. So when I tell you I started from ground zero, I know where you are. I started with nothing, right? And it's been 17 years. So whatever you're thinking, you can do this. You can do this. All right. Now, when I started LaPav Consulting, one of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. That's why I say to you, I know how it is on both sides of the coin to lead a nonprofit and to lead a small business. Well, when I started leading the nonprofit, I don't think I was there 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to do what? I had to write a grant to save my job. The grant was to pay for my salary. Now, people, I had never seen a grant before. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse. I had no knowledge of grants. And now I'm being asked to write a grant that would save my job. And you know, there are times when people who look like us are called in to do what? To save the program, to save the sometimes organization, right? To save the day. Now, if you know what I mean, give me a yes in the chat. And let me tell you, I did it. I researched that grant. I wrote that grant. I won that grant and it paid for my salary for an entire year. So I know that you can win, not just write, you can win grants with no experience, right? Because today we're talking about not just writing a bunch of grants. We're talking about what you need to be doing to place yourself in position to start winning the grant funding. All right. That is what is going to be important. All right. I'm seeing some yeses. Now, what else will we talk about? I'm going to go over the current grant landscape because what you need to know right now about grants will help you win grant funding. And then how do you prepare to apply to write grants? What do you write in the application? How do you write the application? Then how do you get noticed in a sea of applications? And then how do you conduct the grant research so that you are finding the organizations that want to give you funding? And then I'm going to give you a list of grants. Yes, there is grant money here for you as a Black organization. And then we're going to do a little bonus surprise. Now, let's talk about Q&A because this is your opportunity to ask a grants expert your questions about grants. Now, drop your questions in the Q&A box or in the webinar chat. Either place, you'll have to see the webinar chat or the Q&A box, one or the other, because if you do one or the other, we'll get through the questions faster at the end, and I will answer every question. All right? All right. Now, I'm here to help you. That's what you need to know because there have been so many roadblocks put in our way, so many challenges put in our way. I'm here to help you, right? I'm here to try to knock as many out as I possibly can. So I am going to give you this replay for free. I'm not going to charge you for it, and you will have it tonight. All right, so don't worry. You'll get the replay. It will be free. You'll have it tonight. All right, let's get ready to go. All right, why are we here? We're here because we as Black leaders need access to funding. And guess what? It shouldn't always be about loans. Are you as tired as I am of hearing about loans? We want grants because you do not pay grant funding back. And let me tell you, it is available regardless of what you are seeing on TV. It is available in the billions of dollars. Yes, right now. Also, you need to know that you can do this. You can write grants, all of you. It's not what it used to be. Grant writing. I used to write 500-page grant applications. I was a professional grant writer for 16 years, right? Months at a time. Not anymore. Some grant applications are 2 and 3 pages. So you can do this, but you have to know to win grants, there is a process. That's what I've learned after having won almost $18 million. There's a process, and that is part of what I'm going to be sharing with you today. This is a process. All right. All right. Let's get going. Now, what do you need to know about the current grant landscape? This is the major news that I need for you to inhale and then share with other organizations. We know that federal grants have been cut. We know that they've been rescinded. We know that they've been frozen. But guess what? Federal grants do not equal all grants. Grants come from thousands of resources. Your private, community, and family foundations, right? Your corporate foundations. And yes, they give to nonprofits and small businesses. So guess what? The money is still available. All right. This is what I need for you to know and to share. Funding is still available. All right. And guess what? There's a special opportunity right now for you. There have been so many people who have assumed that there are no more grants because the federal grants have been cut. So guess what? Fewer people are applying. Means a little less competition. So what are you going to do? You're going to swoop in here and start applying for these grants. Now, something else remarkable is happening. Because of the federal grant cuts, your local, corporate, family, and community foundations are literally increasing their grant funding to try to fill in the gaps caused by the federal grant cuts. So what are you going to do? You're going to take advantage of this and make sure that you are connecting with your local community foundations and your local corporations that are giving funding because they are increasing the grants. All right. That is very important news. Now, also, this is what is happening. Do you know that your state and county and local governments have grant funding? And guess what? Many of those grants are continuing to be provided. Why? Because not all state and local and county government grants come from the federal government. A lot of states, they raise their own money, right? Just a month ago, I heard about a $20 million grant from the state of Michigan and a $30 million grant out of the state of Ohio. So please understand that your governments, state, county, local, are still providing grant money. All right. So this is good news. This is good news. Oh, my mouse is just getting out of control here. Let me get back to where I was before. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We know that the federal government, they have cut out this funding, right? Coming from the federal government, right? And now they're trying to influence your foundations, right? And your other organizations to make sure they don't give in this area. But guess what? A lot of these foundations, these are the people that they serve. So diversity, equity, and inclusion means what? All minorities, women of all ethnicities, veterans, the disabled. And these foundations serve these populations. So they're not just going to stop serving the people that they serve. And the same is true for you. You continue to serve who you are going to serve. but they also don't want the wrath coming from the White House. So you know what is going to be happening? They are going to absolutely, hopefully, you're not hearing too much of that in the background because again, I'm in a different place. So hopefully they are going to do this, and this is what you're going to do. They're tweaking the language. They're tweaking the language, right? So instead of using DEI, right, they're using what we call quiet DEI. And I'm going to show you exactly what they're doing and what you're going to do. But here's more good news. Many of your foundations are still providing grant funding, right, to these areas, like the Ford Foundation, like the Kellogg Foundation, right, because they are less influenced by what's going on in the White House. And then even some of your newer foundations like Google, Apple, Delta, Costco, this is the area where they give. They give in this area of DEI. They're not going to stop. They're tweaking the language a bit so that they can make sure they're providing funding to who they want to provide funding to without feeling the wrath coming from the White House. All right. So this is what you do. Again, it's called quiet DEI. When you discuss who you serve, don't focus on ethnicity or gender. Focus on the conditions that you're trying to overcome, the categories, right? The outcomes, the barriers. Let me show you exactly what you're going to do. Now, let's say you have a program where you offer youth development opportunities for Black boys. That's who you serve. You serve Black boys. Look, you don't stop serving Black boys. You're going to tweak the language. Instead of saying, our program offers youth development opportunities for Black boys, you're now going to say we provide youth development for what? Historically underserved and underrepresented boys, or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities, or supporting boys from communities designated as high need or underrepresented in STEM. You see what I'm doing there? I took out the word Black and I'm talking about the condition that you are addressing. And the same for women. Let's say you are a coach. You coach women. You provide employment and career coaching for women. You may need to tweak that language a bit to now say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement, or providing career development services tailored to those who experience unique workforce challenges due to caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. We're talking about women. We're just not using the term. This is very important for you to get. So let me know in the chat. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm doing. You're just tweaking that language a bit, because at the end of the day, your goal is to do what? To get the grant money, even if you have to tweak that language a bit. Got it? Everybody got it? Yes, 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 yes. All right, all right. This is very important for you to know. Let's get back to the basics now. What do you need to know about grants? Grants are not paid back. Now, I saw a lot of nonprofits. Make sure you have your 501c3. That's your tax-exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. You will need it if you are going to be applying for grants. All right. Now, it's only taking about 8 weeks to get it from the IRS. So if you don't have the 501c3, get it. Why is this important? Because foundations are requiring you to have this status before they give you grant funding. All right. So this becomes very important. Now, I want all of you, by the way, this is just for nonprofits. Okay. As a small business, you don't need a 501c3. Now, I want everybody to look at this slide here, right? People are thinking there's no grant money. Look at this slide. This is annual grant funding from foundations and corporations, and to a smaller extent, bequests. Look at this number. Giving in 2023, that's the last year that we have really good numbers. $189 billion. Billion would it be? That is a lot of money. I want you to focus on this number for a second. But don't be intimidated. Don't think, oh, Linda, like that's just too much money. There's like no way I can get, any of this funding. Because at the end of the day, what you need to focus on is what you need, how much money you need. So I want all of you right now to write into the chat, I just need a little bit. Write that, because you just need a little bit or $189 billion, right? So too many people look at these big numbers, they think, there's no way. No, focus on what you need specifically, right? That's right. I want you to write into the chat. I just need a little bit. Focus on what you need. This is a huge pie, people. This is a huge pie, right? So understand. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Crystal, Erlene, Carlita, Nikitris. Yes. Focus on what you need of this amount, right? And guess what? This money is being provided every single day. This is what I believe they don't want you to know, right? Every single day, this $189 billion is being released. Like, why not? Why not place yourself in a position to get it? You don't pay this money back. What? Why not use it? Why not use it? All right, I think my screen just decided to do something really funky. Okay, there we go. All right, all right, all right. Now, before we move forward, I need for you to prepare to apply for grants. This becomes important. Please download onto your computer some type of software editing tool because grammar is going to be important to this grant application. And what I don't want you to do is have this great program, and then when you write the application, it's full of grammatical errors. And let me tell you that it's so easy to do. I use Grammarly. I love Grammarly. If you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in this chat. It is a free software editing tool. And look, I'm a professional writer, professional editor, and a professional grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. It will self-correct as you write. Why is this important? Because I don't want you submitting a lot of grant applications full of grammatical errors. So programs like Grammarly will be remarkable in helping make sure that you submit the best application possible. All right. Also, how else are you going to prepare to apply? You're going to get those documents in order. Your EIN, your employer identification number. Now, nonprofits, you need your 501c3. Now, small businesses, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have those articles of incorporation? Board of directors list. You will need it if you have a board. Now, nonprofits, it's required that you have a board, right? Letters of support. They literally help you to strengthen your grant application. Look, drop those names if you need to. Do you know the mayor? Do you know politicians who know of your work? Have them write you a letter of support, or your pastor, or your church, or community leaders. Now, if you're currently operating, you need a financial statement. That includes your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. So again, if you are currently operating, it will be a requirement that you submit your financial statements. And all of you will need an operating budget, but I don't want you to freak out when you hear operating budget, because all it is a document where you are estimating how much it's going to take for you to operate over the course of a year. You need to know approximately what your expenses are going to be, because it will help you to determine how much grant money you need. All right? All right. Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices. All right, let's start with the mission. The mission is everything. If you are a small business or a nonprofit, you need a mission. Yes, it defines what you do and who you are. But guess what? It's also going to connect you to the organization that wants to give you funding, right? Because you need to align your mission with the mission of that foundation. So if you are laser focused on K through 12 education, make sure you are seeking money from a foundation that also has a focus on K through 12 education. All right, this becomes very important. Now, if you don't have a mission, that's homework 101 for you. And yes, small businesses need missions. Absolutely. All right. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right, let's see. So if you don't have that mission, homework 101. Now, this is where you are going to Literally separate yourself from the pack on this grant application. It is how you describe your organization. I want you all to focus on one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? And I need for you to use real numbers. What does this mean? Let's say you have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people have you placed into shelters? And once they get into the shelters, what happens? Do they end up getting their GED, or maybe they end up getting a job, or maybe they go on to permanent housing? What you need to do is to track your success. Track your success. All right. Now, let's say you haven't started yet. You haven't started. How do you talk about impact? You're still going to talk about impact. Let's say you have a tutoring organization. You tutor high school kids. You haven't opened yet. You can talk about projections. You can project that once students complete your tutoring program, you project that they will increase their reading scores by 5% or 10%. So whether you are currently open or you are going to open, you still have to talk about impact using real numbers. Really, this is how organizations are funding. This is how they're giving grant money. No longer is it about, oh, feel good initiatives. Oh, you want to help save the world. You want to help end poverty. No. How? What are the numbers? Track your success. You have a restaurant? How many people do you serve? Do you have any other community related programs affiliated with the restaurant? Maybe you have a cooking school, right? How many people are you serving? How many people do you hire? You're changing somebody's life when you hire them. Track your success. And it goes into the grant application. And then when you are writing this application, you have to write as if you're solving a problem. You have to write this way. Let's take a bakery. Bakery wants a $20,000 grant, wants to relocate in a downtown community. All right. Now, you might be thinking, what is the problem that she's solving? She's making what, cakes all day, right? Maybe it's about economic development, because where she's locating is an economically declined area and she wants to help revitalize the community. So she's looking for a community development grant. It doesn't matter whether you are a for-profit or a nonprofit, you have to write as if you are solving an issue. You have a jewelry company online. What makes it different? You all have to ask yourself this question: what makes you different? Maybe her jewelry is handmade, or maybe it's for people with sensitive skin. What makes you different? This is what foundations want to know. This is why you must know how and where they fund, to make sure they're funding in the area where you are providing the project or the program or the service. How do you find out who they fund and what they fund? You go to their websites. Only about 90% of foundations don't have a website. That's where you have to get a little creative. But many of them do. All right. Now, also, this is where some of you get into trouble. You want to help everybody. Like, I've been a business coach for 16 years. People, you can't help everybody. You should have one, maybe two target populations. If you ask me about veterans and you tell me you serve veterans, I'm going to ask you, veterans who? Veterans with PTSD that need mental health and wellness counseling? Homeless veterans that need transitional housing? Who are you helping? You got to niche down, right? One, maybe two target populations. You open up that restaurant, what kind of restaurant is it? Who are you targeting? Italians? People that love soul food, right? Because you cannot help everybody. The more you try to pile on your shoulders, the less effective you're going to be. The more you end up diluting your results. Because for many of you, it's just you. Now, at the end of the day, you have to make a decision about what kind of grant money you're seeking. Are you seeking operating grants or program project grants? There's a difference. Now, we love to get operating grant money because you get to decide where to put the grant. It's really to help you pay your administrative costs because you can pay for salaries with operating grant money, IT, your lease, right? Staff. Maybe you want to redo your website. Administrative costs. Think administrative costs with operating money. Helps build your capacity. But most grant money goes to a particular program or project of your organization. And does it matter your status? Let's say you have that restaurant. Maybe she wants to start a delivery service or a cooking school. That could be a project where she's asking for grant money. Whatever you do, always apply for multiple grants. Always, always, always. Why do you think that is? I want to hear from you. Let me know in the chat. Why do you think it is important that you should always be applying to multiple foundations? Like this is not a one and done industry. This is not like a sprint. Like this is a marathon. Why? Why do you think? Let me know in the chat why you think you should be applying to multiple foundations when you seek grant money. Like never just apply for one grant and be done. Let me know in the chat why you think it's important that you should be applying to multiple foundations. That's right, Crystal, the more chances of success, right? The more you apply, the greater your chances, Carlita. Well, it improves your chances, but here's another reason. Here's another reason. Grants are not guaranteed. Don't let anybody tell you they can guarantee you grant money. Grants are not guaranteed. This is how you get scammed. I hear horror stories all the time, especially people on Facebook. Oh, it's rampant there. Come apply over here. Everybody wins. Everybody gets grant money. 99.9% of the time, they're scammers. So just be careful. Now, community partnerships, hear me out. This is important. This is vital. You all must have them. You must if you're going to be successful. You can't do this alone. Let me give you a couple of examples. First of all, this question is going to be on the grant application. So you'll need to be able to answer it. Let's say you have an accounting firm. You could go to your local library and give a talk on accounting, a talk on taxes, like one hour a month. You're going to have a willing audience. The library is going to help promote you. That's what they do. Why is this important for your grant application? Because it will increase your level of visibility. And guess what? Foundations are always seeking to find out who's doing what in the community. And it increases your level of visibility. And now you're working with this great partner, the library, which I think libraries are like criminally underutilized. So here's another example. And by the way, it doesn't have to be a library, maybe Urban League, HBCUs, civic organizations, 100 Black Men of America, partner, right? There may be a service that you can have elevated through your partnership with them and have them promote you. And besides, let me tell you, it needs to be a well-respected organization that you're partnering with because they oftentimes know where the funding is in the community so they can give you referrals and recommendations. Let me give you another quick example. Excuse me. Let's say a young lady has a re-entry program, like an ex-offender program. She wants to make sure that once people are released from jail into the community, that they become successful members of society. So she has an ex-offender program. Now, she has to interview the inmates before they are released to make sure they qualify for her program. I want you to tell me in the chat who you think she should be meeting with in the community, who should be her community partners. She has an ex-offender program. She wants to make sure once people are released from jail that they become successful members of society. She must interview them before they're released from jail just to make sure they're right for the program. I want to know in the chat, who do you think she should be meeting with? Who should be her community partners? That's right, exactly, Carlita, the sheriff's department, the police chief. They need to know her program exists so that they can recommend it, so that they can allow her access to their jail system, right? Crystal, yes, law enforcement, the probation department, the parole board, absolutely. Who else? Do you want them to have a job once they're released from jail? You want them to be able to work, right? So that they don't commit some act and go back to jail. Do you know there are organizations that get tax breaks for hiring ex-offenders? So what about companies, organizations? Do you want them to be homeless? You don't want them to be homeless, right? What about transitional housing facilities, right? These are all partners that you should be meeting with, right? So you see how we came up with like 4, 5, or 6? This does not have to be difficult. This is your homework. I want you all to list 5. List 5 partners based on your organization. And that's going to be your homework. So name 5 based on your organization. That's your homework. And then get ready to meet with them. Let them know what you do and who you are, even if it's just in the idea stage. You know, there are startup grants that give money to you in the idea stage. All right. Now we're on to the money. This is the budget. It's called the grant budget. This is how you're going to showcase your use of the grant money. Just remember, itemize those expenses. You want a $50,000 grant to hire an executive director? Is it a contracted person? Be specific. How many hours a week will the person work? How many weeks out of the year? Are you asking for supplies? What supplies? Who's using the supplies? All right. And then your description of how you're using the funding goes into the budget narrative. The numbers go into the budget, usually an Excel file, and then the description goes into the budget narrative. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Linda, this is not bad. Like, I may be able to do this, but I don't have time. I don't have time to write these grants. Remember what I said to you at the beginning, that some of these grants are literally like 3, 4, 5 pages. Why? Because foundations don't have the staff to sort through 100-page grant applications, and they're getting dozens, sometimes over 100. Also, AI will give you your time back. Yes, it will. Chat GPT is amazing. We'll talk about it in a moment. It will give you your time back. So I have a question for all of you, and I would like an answer in the chat. For those of you that are thinking, oh, I don't have time. And for all of you, like, answer my question in the chat, please. Do you have time to get free money? Like, do you have time to get free money? People, this is free money to you that you don't pay back. Let me see if anybody has time to get free money. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes, yes, yes. It sounds like you've got time to get this free money. Then I need for you to spend just a little bit of time on the process. On the process. On the process to get the free money. All right. Now, what are you going to do? By the way, this is the slide here. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. Screenshot it, do something. You need to meet with the foundation first. This is often the deciding factor as to whether or not you get grant money. Did you meet with the foundation first? I always remember one particular client. I set up a 30-minute Zoom meeting, got $30,000. Yes, I said Zoom. These are Zoom meetings, 30-minute Zoom meetings. They want to meet with you. They want to learn more about your organization. You should want to meet with them. You're trying to get their grant funding. And guess what? In this meeting, they often give you insight about the grant that is not even on their website. So yes, meet with that foundation. Now, how do you do it? You send an email. In the email, you introduce your organization, but you make that alignment. Make sure that if they're giving grants to people who create cookbooks, make sure you create cookbooks. So you send this email to them, to a correct person with the correct email address. I don't believe in sending emails to like info@ABC Foundation, no. Now, whatever you do in this email, never, ever, ever, ever ask for money in the email. That's almost like getting an instant rejection letter. All right. You ask for a meeting. In the meeting, you ask for money. All right. Now we're on the finding the money. This is the grant research. The Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grants in the US. Use these portals. People Google is okay, but you don't want real portals that focus on grants. So Foundation Directory Online, also called Candid, is $50 a month to subscribe or totally free access at your local library. Grants.gov, yes, there are actually still some grants available. Lilly Foundation, do I have any faith-based organizations or churches? Yes, there's money for you. Lilly Foundation is the largest funder. Grant Watch, I love them. They provide so much information, the synopsis of the grant, the deadline, the contact information, the organization providing the grant. They're $20 a week or $200 for the year. That's Grant Watch. Grant Station is $200 for the whole year. And again, they give you such good information that you can plug in about your organization so that it can give you the best grant match. So they're giving you grant matches. And then urbanawarenessusa.org, they're Black owned. Make sure you sign up for them. They give you new information on 3 to 4 grants every week. Free access. urbanawarenessusa.org. All right. All right. Now, let me just show you really quickly. This is Grant Station, $200 for the whole year. How you conduct the grant research. Look to the right where it says areas of interest. For every block you see, there's probably 20 drop-down blocks. Seriously, probably 20 drop-down blocks. Find yours, find your category, and put who your target population is. Is it the homeless? Is it African American children? Is it senior citizens? Your area of interest. Push a button. We'll give you a list of grants, $200 for the whole year. Now, let me say something to all of you about location, because I think some of you are leaving money on the table. Always start local. Always start local first. It's easier to get local grant money, and then you can branch out, right? To your state grants. Don't disregard the state grants now, because you could be living in Ohio and get grant money from Texas. And then for my global community, this is absolutely for you. Yes. You can live in the United States and serve a population in Kenya and still get grant money. All right. Now, I have a list of grants for you because I just want you to know grants are still out here and available for you. But you also want to know how to tweak to use the other language. But yes, there are still grants. So I won't go through them all, just a few. If you are a woman on business, make sure you are signed up to helloalice.com. Operation Hope, John Hope Bryant, he's trying to build 1 million Black businesses. He's up to 400,000. Become a part of that program, please. Let's see. Amber Grants for Women, they give away $30,000 every single month. Every single month. NAACP, they have a list of grants. Ford Foundation. So yes. Grants are available. And then your startup grants, Busy and Sky's the Limit. Oh, and by the way, did you know that Walmart provides grants, including grants for churches? Yes. Now, really quickly, I want you to put into the chat, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Banks and money. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Let me know in the chat. Banks and money, banks and money. What do we got? Big players only, loans, loans, loans. Did you know that grants are offered by banks? Banks are some of the largest providers of grant money. Yes, I said it. Banks are some of the largest providers of grant money. I'm indicating this information to you so that you understand grants come from so many different resources outside of the federal government that you're missing out on if you're not applying. I'm going to give you 4 hot leads right now. Truist, TD Banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, all provide grants. All provide, and there are just a few that do, just a few. Now, let's talk about ChatGPT. I love it. It can be a phenomenal resource, but please don't think it's a replacement. It is not a replacement for you being able to write a great grant application. I love it. It will improve your writing skills, help you write faster. help you write easier, but it is not going to be a replacement for you writing a great grant application because you have to feed it prompts, right? You have to feed it prompts. You have to feed it your information that you've written, and that way it's original to you. You don't fall into any ethical dilemmas. And you input it in and it will give you back sometimes lengthier if you ask it. It will edit that information. But just know that there's no getting around you being able to write your grant application and then you feed it into AI or anywhere else. And speaking of, that's the bonus surprise. I've written a course. I've written a grant writing course. This is how I won $18 million. I'm offering it to you to do the same because I want you to be able to write the basics about your organization. And then if you want to feed into AI, great. And your secret weapon is my coaching, right? Because I'm going to coach you through everything, how to write every part of the grant application. These are just some of the things that we teach. The best grant research techniques, how to find funders who want to give you funding, where to ask for funding, how to create a budget. Now, let's say you have written up that application you submitted to the bank, you get an interview. Do you know what to say? Do you know how to say it? That's where you come into our private Facebook group. We have a phenomenal private Facebook group, and you ask the questions and you will get the answers. All right. That is so important. So important. Private Facebook group. Now, what do you get? 12 modules, 35 lessons. You get a video for your visual learners for every lesson. But I've been hired to build grant applications, including write the grant questions. So I have built grant questions into this grant course. So when you are answering my questions, you are creating a beautiful grant template that you're going to apply to grant again and again and again. That's why it makes it easier and faster. All right. And then you also get real grant examples. I need for you to see what a winning grant looks like and all of its components so that you know. Now, here's your bonus. I said I was serious about helping you. You get a list of over 600 funders, over 600 funders. Get you off to a great start. And then, yes, we have a private Facebook group. That's where you're going to be coming in and asking your questions. All right. And then because I'm here to help you, I'm here to help you, you get an hour of group coaching with me. Make sure you get unstuck. You get an hour of group coaching. That's not one and done. That's every month. Hop on every month. The link to buy the course is in the chat. Hop on every month just to get you unstuck. Now, this is important for you to see. You see these numbers here? I want you to look at these numbers. I've had my course audited 3 times now. This is what you're getting with the course. This is what the course is worth. You're only going to pay a fraction of it. 12 modules, 35 lessons worth $3,549. The videos are worth $599. The funding list is worth $500. The workbooks, planners, grant trackers worth $350. I am intentional about creating a course that is low cost, not low value. It's been audited 3 times. It's a $5,000 course. I'm not charging you because what? What did I say at the very beginning? I'm not going to be another hurdle that you have to jump over to get these grants, right? They've put enough hurdles in front of our way. So I offer this course to you. Everything that I mentioned, everything that I mentioned, this is the slide that you want to see. Is one payment, $297. The regular price is $997. Now it's discounted to $497. That's what people are paying, $497. And they're glad to pay the $497. But you hopped on the webinar. I know you could have been somewhere else at noon. So take $200 off. But you've got to use a coupon though, because Everybody else paying $497. You will only pay $297 for the entire course. That's one and done. That's not a monthly payment. That's it. For the course, for my coaching, the Facebook group, right? Make sure you use this code. And I've dropped it into the chat. JULY31 is what you're going to use. If you are going to be seeking grants, please do so in a community. Do so in a community where you can get the help, where you can get your questions answered by real people, not bots. I have a community in my Facebook group, right? A community where you can get the help that you need. And if you need a little extra help with the payment, we do offer a 2-month payment plan. It's $175 a month for 2 months. Use the code though, JULY31, but put a little T on the end of it to let us know you want a 2-month payment plan. So that's the code for the 2-month payment, $175 a month for 2 months. And allow us to help you. And yes, you're reading right. The course never expires. I said I was here to help you. I am. This is everything you get. The course, the Facebook group, the group coaching, write everything off because everything is tax deductible. So yes, you're getting a $5,000 course that you're paying $297 for, and you're going to write it off, right? And yes, you get a certificate of completion once you are done. All right. Now, we have something a little bit more intense for those who are ready. We have a boot camp. It's 2 days. I literally teach you 2 months worth of work in 2 days, right? So if you're ready for that, just send me an email. At the end of the 2 days, you leave with a completed grant application, like you're ready to go. You leave with a completed grant application that you're going to submit and a grant template. This is what happens at the end. You leave with a grant template. You leave with a list of grants, a big list. You leave with your implementation plan. I'm going to teach you AI for 2 days. It's $1,997 or 2 payments of $1,249. That's for those who are ready to go. Keisha took it, had never written a grant before. 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. 2 weeks after that, she had a $100,000 grant. Had never written a grant before. All right. Now, these people here, they just bought the $300 course, which I'll show you how to buy it online in a moment. I put the link in the chat. Nicola was not a grant writer. She is not a professional grant writer. She took the course. Last month, she won $250,000. $250,000. Look at that ROI. She spent less than $300 learning how to write, and she applied for $50,000. She didn't even apply for $250,000, but her application was so tight. They looked at it and they said, wait a minute, we need for you to implement this in other places. Let's counter offer. Here's $250,000 for you, right? She's not a professional grant writer. Whitney is not a professional grant writer. She won $200,000. Learning what I am teaching you there, I have created a framework. After having won almost $18 million, it's over $18 million now in grants. I've developed a framework for you that will help you not just write a bunch of grants, but place yourself in a position to finally start winning grants. All right, Kanisha, $100,000. That was earlier this year, right? And some of these are nonprofits. Some of these organizations are small businesses. Kimberly, $84,000. By the way, Nicola has an LLC and she won a $250,000 grant. Kimberly has an LLC, $84,000. Cherie, $11,000. $20,000 for a massage company. She said, we are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing. Christina, $10,000. She has an online educational consulting organization. Online, you don't need a brick and mortar to win grant money. No. So for those of you that are thinking, oh, I don't think I have time, I wrote the AI grant guide. It's 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. It will give you your time back. AI will give you your time back. I'm going to throw that in. You will get that for free because I don't want you to use time as a reason why you are not coming into this community and learning how to win these grants. You should be using AI to help you. It is a remarkable resource. And bonus number 2, if you buy today, maybe you've heard of the U.S. Black Chambers. They're the lead organization for all of the various Chamber of Commerce, the Black Chamber of Commerce in the various cities. They have a Buy Black list. They have a list of grants for small businesses and for nonprofits. It's $200 to subscribe. I'm going to give you the latest edition free because I want you to be successful and to try to counter everything that's being thrown in your way, right? And I know you're tired of using your own money. I hear from you. I've been in this industry 17 years. You're tired of using your own money. So why not be in a community where you learn to write these grants so that you can start using somebody else's money to help you with your dream, right? Whether it's a nonprofit or a small business. All right, I'm going to stop sharing, and there we go. I'm going to show you people who are asking really quickly. I'm going to share one more time how you buy the course for those of you who are asking. So with the link that's in the chat, hit purchase now. The $4.97, right? Because you have a $200 coupon. Most people do not have coupons, all right? So you will see this page. Make sure you hit have a coupon and put in your JULY31 coupon code. Hit apply. It's $2.97. There you go. Now, for those of you who want to work with me personally, look at this little block here. That is a VIP session with me. We will meet for an hour. It is a strategy session. Oh, by the time you leave, you will have perfect clarity because I'm going to go over your mission, your vision, your infrastructure, your services. You even get the strategy notes and you even get the video of our session. It's normally $497. If you buy it with the course, it's $247. That's the only time you'll see it for $247. All right. Normally it's $497. If you buy it separately, it's $497. You can add it on with the course. That's if you want to meet with me privately to discuss your organization. And you also leave with a little mini list of grants too. I give you a list of grants. All right. Now, those of you who want to take advantage of that 2-month payment plan that we have, just hit 2 times 275. But remember, you have a coupon code. You're not paying $275. You have a coupon. Hit have a coupon, input JULY31 with that little T for 2-month payment plan. And there you are. You're paying $175 a month for 2 months. And then that's it. And yes, you can still add on the one-on-one. All right, I'm going to stop sharing because it is Q&A time. All right. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who are wondering about the buy now, pay later, yes, we do offer it. Let me show you. For the one payment, $297, you can split those up over 4 payments. So let me show you how you do this. Have a coupon. You have to click that. You still input your coupon code, JULY31. It will take off $200. You're down to $297. Now, in order to get to the buy now, pay later, you have to input your email to create your account. And here we go. Now, we take a credit card, PayPal, a bank withdrawal form, like Google Pay. But if you want buy now, pay later, keep hitting pay another way. You might have to hit it a couple of times. And there you are. We take Affirm. You may have to hit that little drop down arrow, Afterpay or Klarna. Affirm, Afterpay or Klarna. 4 months same as cashing out. People, for $297, they're dividing it into 4. That's $75 a month for 4 months to actually come into a community where you can learn how to get grants. The first grant you get will pay for the course. All right. All right. So if you're interested in the 4 months same as cash, we do that as well. All right. Q&A. Let me get into the Q&A box. What about philanthropists? How can I get a local list? Can the same procedure be used? No. So if you are approaching people privately, typically you need a relationship or you need an introduction, right? This is about going through foundations and their foundations. So a lot of philanthropists, they have foundations. You want to go through their foundations. right? People like Bill Gates and Michael Dell of Dell Computers go through their foundations. All right. Now I know I'm in Ohio and I'm outside of Columbus right now, but I used to live in Cleveland. And for many cities, most major cities will have a list of the largest giving organizations, like the foundations that give. Oftentimes, you're not going to find a list of private philanthropists, but you need to go through their foundations, find out what foundation they've set up. Another way to get at those who give is to go to your local community foundation. You can Google local community foundation. Almost every community has one. And ask about what's called donor advisory funds. I'm going to put this into the chat. Donor advisory funds. These are funds from wealthy people who give their money to foundations to give away for them. Meet with the local community foundation, find out if there are any donor advisory funds in your particular category, in your area, right? Those are ways to get to the philanthropist, but oftentimes it's through their foundations. Once the grant is received, do we have to show how the funds were used? Excellent question. Yes, you do. So at the end of the year, you have to submit a grantee report. On the grantee report, yes, you have to list how you utilize the funds. That's why when you get the grant funding, you have to track. You have to track your use of the money so that at the end of the year, you can create a list and let them know exactly how you use their funding. That is a requirement for almost every foundation, but it's at the end of the year. So you've got to keep track of how you're using that money. Now, some organizations, they want receipts. Most of the ones I've dealt with in the last 17 years, no, they don't need receipts, but they do need a list of how you utilize the money. All right, great questions, Carlita. All right, I'm going to go over to the webinar chat. There's still plenty of time to ask questions. Yes, so it's $297. That's it. It's one and done. You pay that, you come into our community, and I will serve as your grant coach. Like I'm going to be your little secret weapon. Because let's say you set up a meeting with the foundation. Do you know what to ask? Do you know what questions you should be asking them? Do you know what you never walk away from that meeting without knowing? I always say if you're going to seek grants, please do so in a community where you can get help. Because it is very frustrating to be out here trying to get grant money and not knowing where to go, who to go to, who to ask, where do you start? Is it the right foundation? How much money do you ask for? Like there's a process. This is why I've created a framework. This is what has brought me over $18 million in grant funding for clients, right? And this is what I share with you. And this is why we meet. This is why I'm in the Facebook group all the time. Those of you who are buying the course, you're going to get 2 emails. One email will be that link to the Facebook group. You want to be in the Facebook group. There are so many grants in the Facebook group. We're dropping grants all the time in the Facebook group. All right. So the link to buy, yes, is in the chat. No, not at all. Nikitris, I'm going to, no, not send me an email so that we can get you the link. You've got to be in the Facebook group. All right. So here's my email address. Everybody, please put this email on your safe senders list or your email list, because this is how you're going to get the replay. It's hello at grant writing for non-writers.com. Please put this email address into your email list so that when you get the email with the replay, it won't go into spam. We don't want it going into your spam, all right? There are a lot of red tapes with banks, but do you know, let me tell you a little secret. It's easier to get grants from banks than loans from banks. It's easier to get grants from banks than loans from banks. And keep in mind, when you get a grant, nobody's checking your credit score. Nobody's checking your credit score because the money is for your organization, not for you. Okay, I'm going to see if there are any more questions over in the webinar chat. You have 3 days. Oh, yes, you have 3 days to get the $200 off of the course and not pay the 497. You want to pay the 297. You've got 3 days. You have until Sunday to get the course for 297 and come into a group where we are helping organizations get so much grant money. Oh my gosh. Those people that you saw, they're in the Facebook group. You can come in and ask them. But they're just a few of the testimonials. Let me just make sure I don't see any other questions. Questions. All right. Any other questions? Anybody? There's still time. If not, we're going to wrap everything up. I just want to thank you so much for hopping on. I know you could have been somewhere else. Keep in mind, you've got until Sunday, right? Come into a community where you can actually get help to get grants, right? Don't try to do this on your own. And yes, you're going to get the replay. So make sure my email is on your safe senders list. Whatever you do, people, keep moving forward and share this, right? You're going to get a link. I'm going to give you the registration link to the upcoming webinars. I want you to share this with people that you know, with Black organizations, with Black-led nonprofits. They need to know this information because too many organizations are assuming that there are no grants. What did we say? There's $190 billion being given away every day. Like my students, my clients are getting six-figure grants. You saw it for yourself, Nicole, $250,000, right? Whitney, $100,000, Kanisha, 100, now, right now, even given this crazy grant landscape, that's why you've got to get help and get some direction. And that's what we're going to do for you. All right. So whatever you do, keep moving forward. Do not be discouraged. You saw the money is available. There are people waiting on you. For those of you who are tired of using your own grant money, or whether your own money out of your pocket, use money coming from another organization, or you're tired of wearing all 20 hats, right? Get the support that you need. But whatever you do, don't be discouraged. Keep moving forward. Don't let this be another webinar that you attended and you don't do anything with. You'll get the replay, go back through the replay, look at what I've taught, share it. All right. Thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course. Excuse me. Hello at Grant Writing for Non-Writers is the email. Make sure you put that on your safe senders list. All right. And I want to thank you so much. Remember, you have until Sunday to get the extra $200 off. Don't let that pass and come into our community so that you can get help for $297. Thank you so much. Have a safe and a blessed day and weekend. And what did I say? Keep moving forward. Keep moving. As a matter of fact, before you leave, I want you to do one more thing for you, not for me. Do one more thing for you because I believe in manifestation. Do this for you. So it starts up here. I want you to put into this webinar chat, I am ready to get grant money. Do this before you leave right now. I am ready to get grant money. It's time to move forward. It's time to get off the sidelines. You can't win grants if you don't write grants. I am ready to get grant money. Like, release this into the universe, and then you can leave. Like, type this out, get this out, release it out. Carlita, Nikitra's release, Crystal, release, get this out. I'm ready to get grant money. I'm ready to get grant money. And hopefully I will see you in this Facebook group and in this community where you can get help. Remember, it's as low as $75 a month for 4 months. All right. Crystal, that's what I'm talking about. Speak this into existence. It's time for you to get grant money. You're tired of using your own money. All right. So thank you so much. Hopefully I will see you soon and you have a blessed and a safe day and week and weekend, and go get this grant money, people. Go get it. Bye-bye.